Okay. I'd like to call to order the Charlton Water and Sewer Commission meeting. This is a makeup of the March 12th meeting, which today is the 18th.
19.
Oh, 19th, thank you. And the first order of business is public forum. Do we have anyone here for public forum? Seeing none, let's move on to warrants, abatement approvals as needed.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the following warrants and abatements. First off, we have Veolia for running the plant for the month of February for us, $37,335.97. And Veolia again for rebuilding the Hi-Core unit, $540. We have Rain for Rent for the North Main Street Pump Station, $1,948.75. Commissioner salaries, $500. Toshiba, $4,729.43. And the Boston Globe for $385.87. Next, we have Osterman Gas, $2,370.07. And Business Radio Licensing, $750. And LaFord Electric for the pump station at 6W, $300. And again, LaFord Electric for 12 Brookside, $560. And then we have a couple of abatements, if we'd like to include them. One of them is for 147 City Depot Road for $22.85. I believe that was a senior abatement adjustment. And the other one was for 40 Stevens Park Road, $293.52.
Okay, do we hear a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Alex. Any discussion? I got a question to Peter. The Toshiba, this number include our $1,000 trade-in fee?
No, there was no trade-in fee.
I thought we were,
No, because the other machine was a Ricoh, it was a lease, it just went back to them. This is a Toshiba.
okay, so we could have bought that for $1,000?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, okay. And explain to me the business radio leasing.
That's for our FCC license to operate our current MXUs for our sewer meters. It's a 10-year license. It expired in March of 2017. If we would have renewed it on time, it would have been probably $150, but because it expired, we have to reactivate it, and it's a higher charge. So there's a company out of California who's going to take us through that process to get that done for us. And in order to continue using those MXUs that we previously had on that radio wavelength, we need that FCC license to do so.
Because they're all fitted for a specific radio wave?
The frequency, yes.
The frequency?
The frequency is specific to those.
And it's not adjustable at all within those
No.
units?
The new MXUs that we're getting with the new machine will have a different, will be under their FCC license, not ours, but because we currently still have these, we have to keep this license current for now. And I believe, as I said, I believe it's a 10-year license.
Yeah, I was going to say okay, but really, I hear what you're saying. It seems like a pretty severe punishment, but, okay. All right. Anyone, any questions, any comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.
Mr. Chair, I'd like, I guess, been digging in the dark, deep corners of the closet somewhere, found some minutes of February 26, 2017. I'd like to make a motion to approve those minutes.
Okay.
– 2016.
2006.
I have both here. That was coming next.
Other one I have in front of me is 2000.
It might be typed wrong on there. Sorry, Paul. The minutes are February 22nd, 2016.
I got February 26th, 2017,
The-
and then February 22nd, 2016.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, there was a typo.
February 26th is 2018.
Right, this one's right here.
So both the year and the date
Yeah.
have typos.
But the
Okay.
specific meeting minutes.
So the correct
Everything
one
okay.
is February 22nd,
2016.
2016?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The three of you were actually there.
Okay. Do I have I've got a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. So, do we have a
Yes.
copy
In the
for
folder.
signature? Okay. So I'll pass that over. Okay, and the next on the list, Paul, which would be the minutes of February 27th, 2018.
I don't have them here.
That's what you just gave me.
There's the 26th and the 27th.
I have not read these.
It's only really one line.
I don't have them on here, so.
Yeah, make a motion to,
All right.
So the meeting of the 27th was the joint meeting with the Board of Selectmen. We went into executive session. We
Right.
still have the open meeting portion that we need to approve
Oh,
that just
okay,
states that
yeah.
we went into executive session.
Okay, well, that was not much more than a call to order
Yep.
of the meeting of February 27th, 2018, and I'd like to make a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll second it.
all those approve?
Aye?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Yeah,
signatures? Sure.
Alex is-
So there's one more set of minutes from your previous meeting on the February 26th. I'm sorry that those aren't on your front page, but they're in your agenda packet. Are they in that packet?
I've got the 2018, 2016, and 2018, February 26th.
Okay.
Okay, because we had that was the Monday meeting.
That was a regular
And then the
Monday
Tuesday
meeting,
meeting.
but I don't see any
Okay,
minutes in
all
there.
right.
This is all,
Okay. Okay, Paul, we need a motion to approve the February 26th. meeting.
2018.
2018.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the February 26th, 2018 minutes.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, done. Just need to, okay, signature goes there. I'm missing one that I need to sign, gentlemen. The minutes from 2016.
Okay, this can go to you.
We'll sign a draft.
No, the printout's not in there. I'll have to get them to you guys to sign. Sorry.
Which printout is that, Peter?
The minutes from 2/26, the clean copy.
The 16th?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I don't have it. Okay, let's check here. Okay, I'm gonna read this. This was in the packet. Okay. Okay,
Here's those minutes.
what did I just sign?
Paul, if you can sign the top sheet of the group of papers right there, just take that, the front, nope, that front page, Paul, take that off. And then sign that top
I got
sheet.
it here.
Thank you.
I've got the minutes for 2016 right here, clean copy.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can sign it, you have to.
Oh, you took them?
No, I didn't take them, I've just discovered them.
Okay.
You know, passed it to Alex.
We don't have Alex on that one.
Okay.
Don't have me on what?
Minutes, February 22nd.
Of this year?
Yeah. No,
16.
16.
16.
I
16.
think try the last page.
Yes, you-
Their name wasn't on the
No, there might be one more page.
sign sheet, but is there another sheet with one
Right there.
straggling name? Okay, sorry about that. There you are, all by yourself.
It's his own sheet.
I like
We don't need those yellow arrows pretty
I
soon.
know, we'll work on that.
All right, this seems
still
to have
new.
your name on it.
19?
Yep,
18 or 19?
19.
Rob, can you sign
The
the
years,
front
Rick.
page, that binder clip right there?
These are all drafts.
This is
here.
the abatements.
Yes. For the warrant.
All right, what did I?
You need to sign that too.
What did I do with my agenda?
You're right, sign it. Okay.
I didn't put the date in.
Okay.
Gosh, I might think
All
of
right,
a gazillion-dollar
perfect.
closing deal here.
Look at that. Close to it.
Yeah. This is yours, Paul, Pete.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was close.
Okay. People, thank you for your patience.
Give that back to Paul, it's his packet.
Okay. You're okay.
All right.
We brought that for a second. Somehow I lost my
Here.
paper.
This shows too.
Okay, yeah, meeting agenda, schedule appointments. So at 6:40, we're running a little bit late. We've got Ty and Bond update on Berry Corner Road water line.
Sure, come on up, Jeff. Thank you.
Pass out one graphic.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Believe them.
Come on up, Chris.
I'll give this Alex.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jeff Faulkner from Ty and Bond. We're the engineer for this water main project. Sitting next to me is Chris McClure, engineer, third-party reviewer on behalf of the Charlton Water and Sewer Board. Also in the audience is Heather Blakely, DPW Director from Southbridge, and Tom Mahana from Ty and Bond. So we're here tonight to give you an update on this water project, whose intent was to extend the water system in this vicinity to take care of some contaminated house private wells. So in front of you, you have a graphic that represents the project area. It basically starts at the intersection of Berry Corner Road and Southbridge Road. And the blue line is the proposed water main extension running Berry Corner Road to the intersection of Ayers Road, and then south on H-Foot Road to a little short of the town line, and also on Eleanor Lane, totaling about 19,000 linear feet, 3.4 miles. There's also an alternate bid item for this project to extend the water main all the way to the town line on H-Foot Road, which is an additional 1,500 feet. The parcels in green are the ones that have signed up to fully connect to the new water main, which total 80. And the parcels that have not signed up will receive a stub to their property line so that they connect in the future. The project will require a pressure-reducing valve vault near the intersection of Southbridge Road to drop the pressure to service this vicinity. And there will also be some pressure-reducing valves in each of the houses as well. The project is currently out to bid. We've been working with Peter and Steve and Chris on your behalf for the last 6 months or so, several design meetings and input from everyone on how to proceed on this project. And so it is currently out to bid, and contractors are reviewing the plans and design documents, being prepared to submit a bid on April 12th. to the town of Southbridge. The project will also involve decommissioning the 80 private wells and servicing the houses all the way to the foundation and a new meter in each of those 80 houses. So that's the basic summary of the project and where we are. We will be getting bids, like I said, April 12th. The goal would be to go out to construction around Memorial Day timeframe and get the roadway work done in this calendar year. The actual turnover of the services will depend upon the unrelated or the other project that is in the vicinity, which is the pump station on Southbridge Road, which is another project through the ExxonMobil projects. You know, we learned at this point that that one will probably not be ready by the end of this calendar year, so the actual turnover of these 80 houses to the public water supply is likely in the spring of 2019. So I guess with that, you know, if you have any questions, feel free to ask and we'll answer.
Jeff, excuse me, you work for the state, or do you work for Ty and Bond?
I work for Ty and Bond. We were
Okay.
hired by the town of Southbridge for the engineers for this project.
Okay. All right. Alex or Paul, anything right now? This is great that you've accelerated this to be at the point to where it's already been put out to bid, it was in the central register
It is.
and all that? Yeah.
Yes.
Are you people that much of a better engineering firm than Kleinfelder? Because
We like
Kleinfelder,
to think so.
you know, we got 1,800 kids who are drinking polluted water every day. And the thing is it seems like you guys have just jumped ahead. Again, it's great that this is happening, it's great those people are getting service. Does this seem like it's getting more pressure from the bigwigs upstairs as far as getting this done in front of the project we've been working on for years and years and years?
I guess I can't speak to that, but I can tell you that DEP did do a quick review of this and work with us to give us their approval on the design.
Okay. Okay. I've got a few questions, I guess. As I look at this on Berry Corner Road down by the corner of Southbridge Road, is there contamination down there?
Not all the way down there, but the route to get to the current water system to the contaminated area was
Right.
decided to go through that part of Berry Corner Road.
So if I'm looking at lot numbers or house numbers here, 40, 42, 43, 52, and 68, has that, what's it, 4-dioxane? Is that what we're trying to,
That's one of the
Mediate
compounds,
here?
yes.
all right, do any of those properties there have that?
I do not believe they do.
Okay. Okay, and so the readings show up or begin to show up at where? They show up in H-Foot Road?
H-Foot Road, Eleanor Lane, and the western end of Berry Corner Road.
The western end of Berry Corner Road. Now, how about up by Ayers Road?
Yeah, all the way to Ayers Road, yeah.
Okay. And so when you say you're going to put in a PRV, that's to reduce the pressure right down on Southbridge Road?
So the new pump station is on Southbridge Road near Snake Hill Road.
Across the street, yeah.
Yep. That is going to produce a pressure that is, although it needs to get to the tank in the system, is actually too high of a pressure for the
Sure.
houses in this area.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a 8x10 concrete vault with a valve in it that drops the pressure to the required limits of this vicinity, which is starting at 150 PSI, and then it changes based on topography, what the pressure
But by
would
the
be.
time it gets up to Eleanor Lane, circle, whatever you want to call it, is there going to need to be booster pumps up there? Because isn't that a higher elevation?
No booster pumps are required. The minimum, the highest elevation lot is, I believe, on H-Foot Road in the 70s or 80s.
Okay,
But that is going to be, you know, around 50 or 60 PSI, which is an acceptable pressure.
by all means, yeah. Okay, so throughout this entire system, the only, the means of delivering the water is all going to come from the pump station at Snake Hill Road. That's
From
gonna-
that direction, when the pump station is not turned on, it will flow from the tank back down Southbridge Road and into this vicinity.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else questions? How's the budget?
So the project has a $10 million funding agreement through the ACO arrangement. The estimate is under $10 million at this point. The construction bids are estimated in around $8 million. There are some additional costs for policing details, engineering, contingency, and a few other items. So, you know, right now, it looks like it's in the mid-nines. However, you know, construction is, you know, by the nature of construction, it could fluctuate depending on how the bids come in and actually the results of what actually occurs during construction.
And the amount of ledge has been taken into consideration?
Yes, there was a geotechnical program prepared early on, where there was about 60 borings prepared, and those developed depths to rock, and those depths were used to calculate out an estimated volume of ledge for the project.
So, also,
13,000 yards.
Okay.
About 13,000.
okay, so obviously, all the bidders have that.
Yeah, I guess one point of clarification, the bids are what I call a unit price bid.
Yep, okay.
So we present to the bidders that they're about 13,000 cubic yards of ledge removal. They put a price per cubic yard, but they will only get paid the actual amount of ledge that they remove.
Okay. And that's, you find that's a better way of doing it rather than just straight estimate?
For these types of horizontal projects, yes.
Yep. Okay. So as I hear what you've reported here is, the bids are due April 12th,
Yes,
and all the funding is in place,
yes.
and that the projected turn-on time for the water would be sometime in the spring,
Of 2019.
in 2019. And it's 19,000 feet. Could you explain about the 1,500 feet going to the town line on H-Foot Road?
Yeah, so on your figure, there's the green parcels that end at 96 and 102.
Yep,
That's the limit of the base bid, what will be part of the base project. The water main that is south of that is the alternate bid, and that's about 1,500 feet. And that is to set up a future looping connection to the other water main in that vicinity in Southbridge.
known as Commercial Drive?
Yes.
Okay. If in fact the bids come in at a point to where it's below the projected amount, what's it gonna take to switch to the alternate, or to activate the alternate?
Well, the alternate, if the bids come in favorably, the alternate would be likely awarded at that same point in time. It's an extension of the new system, it's not an either-or. It would be an extra length of pipe that would be installed. The base project would be installed under all circumstances.
Okay, and so we're going from 3.4 to probably 3.55 miles. Talk to me about the water aging on these two lengthy dead ends.
So when the ACO was prepared, there was calculations done to request that at least 8 connections be made on H-Foot Road, 8 on Eleanor Lane and 8 on the western edge of Berry Corner Road, total of 24 connections, actually with a desire to get 37 houses to connect. With 80 houses deciding to connect, water age is generally not to be considered an issue at this point in time.
Because of the volume that will be. Now, are all these lines 8-inch lines?
Most of them are 8 inches, however, on Berry Corner Road, as we get past 10 Schoolhouse Road, it changes to 6.
Berry Corner Road, when it gets to 10 Schoolhouse Road, that's where it's going to switch?
It changes to 6 at that point, yeah.
Okay, all right, so you will have an 8-inch all the way up to 10 Schoolhouse?
Correct.
Okay. Just thinking of the future is, that would be a quick way to loop out onto Route 20.
Yeah, and there will be a stub in the direction of 10 Schoolhouse Road
Okay.
to pick it up in the future.
How come you didn't loop Eleanor Lane, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, that was coordinated with the developer there. That's a subdivision that was started but on hold for a while, and there's 5 or 6 parcels that are undeveloped at this point in time. So it was determined that we could connect those 4 or 5 future parcels by just dead-ending it. The road is not fully constructed in that vicinity by the developer, and there's a high amount of ledge and shaping of the road that would be required. So it's not even clear that that road will be finished and encircled.
Actually, I believe, was it, you also talked about modifying the design too, so that he may not actually end up looping it through themselves, it may just be a cul-de-sac at that end.
Yep.
I guess, is this, I don't mean to jump into the planning board rules, but they have a rule of 500 feet dead end unless it loops around. So right now, I'm sure the original plan called for that to come out to where that, bylaw or condition within the planning board would have been met. So now it's up to so now it's optional for the developer whether he's going to close that off or not, or loop it or not.
Jeff, let me speak for a
Sure.
second.
Thanks,
So
Heather.
we've looked at potentially looping and extending that whole main, and it actually causes more of a water age issue than you would want, because now you have flow that's gonna split and be unoccupied and used from 2 directions. There really isn't a benefit to doing that at this time, so we've decided that we didn't wanna pursue that. In addition, as Jeff said, there's so much rock, that area isn't really even rough
Right.
graded. We said to the developer that he had to rough grade it to the point where we could extend the water main,
Okay.
and that we were able to service all his lots from the water main, and that's where we left it, given the fact that we know there's copious amounts of lead, we're servicing all the lots from where he intends to put the houses. I don't think there's any reason to put a lollipop on itself,
No, fair enough.
so I didn't wanna push it, given all those things that are going on.
Was any consideration given to reducing that pipe size within Eleanor Lane from 8 to 6?
We did look at it, and there wasn't, given the number of houses that was gonna connect in there wasn't really much of a benefit from a cost standpoint. Yes, it would reduce the water age somewhat, but it wouldn't give them as much of a fire flow issue, and we just said, you know what, we'll leave it 8 for consideration purposes, because water age wasn't an issue, wasn't a concern on Eleanor Lane.
I don't mean to hop on the water age, but this has bitten us in the past. From an engineering point of view, pretty much, I hate to use the word guarantee, but so in your best analysis of this, we're not going to have an issue with water aging.
So with dead ends, what you would typically do with dead ends, if there's a water age issue, is you would, run the hydrant at the end for a while, just to turn over the water at some point in time.
Right, but that's not free.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the calculations, where that 24 to 37 houses would get you the required water age, below the required water age.
Right.
We have 80 houses, so. it's-
I think the bigger difference is if you look at where the pump station is compared to where the current water age we're worried about, you probably have another 8 to 10 miles of water line after this, where this is only 3 miles.
Right.
So it's somewhat safe, it's traveling a lot less distance than where we're concerned currently for water age.
Right, I'm just taking it from a point of view of water getting trapped up there. I know that it's gonna receive the freshest of the water, because it's closest to the source. But, what happens is, once it gets up there, it's not gonna wanna come back down unless people use it. So, there may be some consideration, budget-wise, for the first 12 to 18 months, that a account should be funded in case blow-offs have to happen. Again, just a consideration. So, anybody have anything else, or any other comments, questions? Okay. Heather, you have anything there? And thank you
No, I think
for coming.
Jeff covered a lot of it. We're very pleased with how quickly this has progressed.
Okay. Anything, Chris?
No, just, making sure all our bases are covered.
Okay. And, okay, if you see your competitors out in the street, tell them to get going here at the Charlton Center. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
You don't need any motions or anything? No.
I think so. We told you we'd come back and give you an update on the project.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, moving right along at our 7 o'clock appointment. I apologize for being a little bit late to Mr. Ed Hart. Is he in the audience?
I don't believe Mr. Hart could make it. He was originally scheduled for your last week's meeting, which got canceled.
Okay.
I believe Mr. Dixon is here.
Yes,
from-
my name is Neil Dixon, I'm with Dixon Sale of Architects, we're the architects for the renovations proposed for the building. Mr. Hart is out of town. Speak with him today.
Okay, if you wouldn't mind, you ready, you want to bring us those plans? Is that what you're doing? Or you getting ready to take a seat? Whichever.
Yes,
Okay.
so I just gave plans. A couple of copies and I have some smaller scale plans.
Do you have some small scale plans?
Yes.
Just need to know?
I only have 3, but,
That's fine, if you wanna, what would you guys rather have? Paul, will you go?
the one plan that's like part of the site plan, larger copy in there. And then there's plans of the building, what we're planning to do in the building and outside, to connect outside. So you can, see the picture.
Okay, can I pass those on, because these are too big.
That's too big?
I think it's too big. I can just.
Yeah.
I thought you guys were
No,
around.
we'll pass this off.
I have one,
Okay,
Give you
sure.
all.
Which one do you want? Which, do you want, oh, you want a set, okay. How many pages to a
I
set?
think there's, well, you
3 or
may
4?
have that one, just one.
Take
There's
one.
one P1 and then there's another one, sheet 5, I think.
I've got 1.0, 1.0, 5.6.
5.
5.6?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we got 4.6, 5.6, and P10.
So, Mr. Chair, if I could just give you guys kind of like a roundabout description of what's going on.
But first of all, Pete, Mr. Dixon, now you're at the table in the microphone. Could you introduce yourself and then state the property and the owner that you're representing, and the property location?
Yes, my name is Neil Dixon. I'm with Dixon Salo Architects of Worcester. We're the architects for the proposed renovations to the building. Our client is AdMass 2 of LLC 2. Their offices are in New York. The property is 46 Worcester Road, Route 20 in Charlton.
Okay, very good, thank you. Now, if Peter, go ahead.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Review, not at all.
So as Mr. Dixon stated, the property is 46 Worcester Road, which is the previous Partners Pizza bumper-to-bumper parts store that's been vacant for many years now.
Okay,
Kurt has given them a temporary building permit to do repairs to the roof only at this time. That's why there's been some work going on there at this time. They have been through site plan approval, correct?
Correct.
And the planning board has given them complete site plan approval. Unfortunately, as part of site plan approval, what we care about is not really a concern to the planning board. So they approve utilities, but not into the depth of what we want to see as far as what our concerns are. So they currently have a private well. The first concern that we have is with the private well, and our water bylaws state, as what I gave you in the packet, is that if there's a public water line that abuts the property and there's substantially altered or reconstructed, that the Water Sewer Commission has the authority to require them to connect to the water line. So I think that the commission needs to make a decision on whether or not they want to enforce that or not at this time. In the packet, I printed out a copy that's a little bit tough to read, but it does show the 12-inch water line in front of their property. There is no stub to this property for some reason,
Yep.
according to the as-built, and that 12-inch line is under Route 20. It might be in the travel lane or the breakdown lane, but it's on the eastbound side of Route 20 as it abuts their property. So, because their proposed water use is not to supply water to customers as far as a restaurant or as far as any type of service, I don't think there's a huge issue with the commission voting to, in the bylaw, it allows you to grant a waiver to this connection requirement, if you choose so. And again, that's,
May I say that we did test the well, Hilgenson, is it?
Helgerson did a water
Helgerson.
test?
We had out there, and Charlton Well tested the well, ran a flow test, tested the water, everything is fine for the proposed use that we're planning to have in the building, as far as the capacity and the quality of the water. There were no contaminants. I talked with the folks down at the station here, and they mentioned that there had been some contamination in the area, I guess, when the,
Oh, from Honey Farms, yes.
yeah, and, but there was no contamination found in the water, so we feel comfortable in using that water if you approve it.
did they also check for salt contamination? Is that area
And the only,
known for having salt issues?
it was a whole series of
It would have
Chemicals.
shown up,
I don't know specifically if they tested
Okay.
for salt.
okay. Now, I recall this specific bylaw when it was created was when we were preparing for the school loop, and obviously we want as many people to connect as possible, and this is when substantially altered came in, or if it's reconstructed, as far as the new lot. It wasn't forcing people who already had a structure and they were occupying that structure. If they had their own water supply, they didn't necessarily need to connect. Okay, so,
But again, I think because of the work that's being done,
I
substantially
agree.
altered kind of comes into play. So just to keep things clean,
Right.
if you don't, if the commission doesn't see the need to enforce this, it's a simple vote. Again, unless the Water Sewer Commission determines that doing so would create an undue hardship. So I think it's if the commission thinks that that's an issue, then we can you could just take that vote and we can it'll be documented and we can put it to
The
bed.
work being done is just confined to the roof, is not
No,
putting
they-
another floor on or something like that?
I do not believe they're expanding the footprint at this time. They're
No,
gonna
we're
use the
not.
same
No.
footprint. They are going to redevelop the inside,
Yeah,
I asked Mr. Hart to provide us with current Title V numbers of what was existing versus Title V numbers for what was proposed, so we know if we have to charge them a privilege fee or anything like that, if that is increasing. I doubt it is, but it seems like Mr. Dixon has that ready for us.
What's the square footage of the building now?
3,300 square feet,
Is that it, huh?
30 feet deep and
Okay.
100 feet long, and then there's a little L in the
Little
back.
job, yeah,
So,
okay.
and as you can see, it's it's less than 20% of what the previous use was for Title V numbers, so.
Yeah, yeah. Now, Mr. Dixon, are you asking for consideration to the bylaw here? 'Cause-
Yes, we were asked to come before you, the commissioners, to present what we plan to do
Yeah,
and to be sure that everything that we're planning to do is acceptable to you.
okay. Obviously, a couple of things. That area, first of all, it's known for a benzene, not a benzene, but an MTBE issue. All right, and again, I personal knowledge, because it used to be the former location of the St. Joseph's Church and St. Joseph's Rectory. The rectory is where the Country Bank is, and I know that well had a very high salt contamination. And again, those things come and go. I would tend to think that it would be in the best interest of the property owner to connect the public water. That's what I'm thinking. I'm only one person here, but,
Mr. Chair?
yes,
The problem with that is if it's an MTBE issue that gets documented from a test, it's not gonna be the property owner's responsibility to make the connection.
Right.
It'll be Honey Farm's responsibility. So
yeah,
until that test comes back positive, it's kinda hard, because we talked about that as well in the office. And to force the owner to connect for possible contamination in the future that was not their doing was kind of hard to do. I think the biggest thing will be we let the Board of Health know that we had that concern. We let them know that this well is coming online, so now it can be tested as part of Honey Farm's routine testing of wells in their area, because this is definitely within the 500 feet, so.
well, it's within the 500 feet, and also it does qualify as far as the bylaw goes, because it is being substantially altered to where, according to the bylaw, it then requires the abutter to connect to public water. And I know the use that's gonna happen down there, it's not a public water supply requirement. People come and go, and again, you don't, it's not as if the state's gonna say you're a public water supply operator, but,
Again, the other issue that I had with considering forcing them to connect based on the bylaw is the fact that there's no stub there for them. So it's not a simple connection. They'd have to go
Okay.
under Route 20, tap the live 12-inch main there, and it just changes the dynamic of a simple connection.
That's what, not everywhere you go is gonna be stubbed.
Most of the properties, again, this building's been existing, there should have been a stub left as part of that. There's stubs to every other parcel on Route 20.
isn't there,
I don't know why this one was missed per the as-built.
I don't have the plan in front of me of Masonic Home Road. Doesn't the public water go up Masonic Home
It
Road?
does, there's no stub there as well.
Okay, but that would be a lot easier to crack into, which side of the street it's on?
It's on, I believe it's on the.
It's on the far
It's
side.
on the mobile side of the street. And you say it'll be easier, but don't forget, anywhere that water line was put in was under Mass Highway control. That's why it was installed at that time. They did, when they redid Route 20, they put in water line as far as their scope of work went. So it's still Mass Highway they'd have to go to get into that road. Well, it might be easier, it's still Route 31
Yeah,
at that point, so it's still a state highway. And you'd have to trench across the road, because it's on
Okay,
the opposite
okay.
side.
If I may, Chris?
Yeah.
The water line location on Mugget Hill, not Mugget Hill, on, in front of your old office, did it go up that high?
Yes, yeah.
And which side of the street?
It is on the
Like,
opposite side.
it's on the opposite side.
Yeah,
Good thing they abutted the wetland, that was smart.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to get that additional information that if Chris knew different. Okay, so, Peter, you recommending pass this off to the Board of Health and let them figure out what they want to do on this?
Again, as far as our responsibility, I'd recommend that we issue the waiver
At this time, because it's not a simple connection, there's no stub there for them to connect to. It'll be quite an expensive ordeal, especially seeing that the well has been tested, the water's clean at this time. And if any of the concerns come up in the future, such as MTBE, that'll be the responsibility of another party to make that connection, much like they've done in the other areas of town. So, and again, because it's not a restaurant, they're not providing water to customers at this time.
Basically, the amount of water is to service two restrooms, two single-user restrooms,
Right,
and a sink in a break room,
right,
and a janitor's
very
sink.
little usage.
Yeah.
All right, so you're suggesting that because of the location of the water lines and the fact there are no laterals and because of the cost is why we would be extending this consideration?
Correct. I believe that would create an undue hardship.
Okay. All right,
But again, it's you guys' decision, so I just
Yeah.
wanted to present this so that it wasn't missed, and again,
I'd like to make a motion to issue the waiver to them having to connect to water for the reasons you said, and also because I just don't think the renovation is major. I mean, the footprint's gonna be the same, they're not adding another story, they're simply doing some roof work, so I think that even just adds to the reasons why they should be given a waiver.
okay. So that's a form, that's a motion,
That was my motion.
okay.
Just the first part about the waiver, not all the rest of the discussion.
All right, do I hear a second on that motion? I'll second it to move it along to a vote. Is there any discussion, any more discussion on it?
I disagree with you, Peter. If
Okay.
you say the main's in a breakdown lane, it's not that hard to deal with,
okay,
all right? And mains get tapped every day.
all right, I understand.
What do you guys wanna do? But I disagree strongly about that. I think they should die into public water. They're a business and it's cost of doing business.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye?
No.
Aye. All those opposed?
No.
Okay. 2-1, motion passes. And Peter, is there any other consideration that we need to consider here?
Well, again, as far as the sewer goes, if you want to look at what's existing, what's going on inside the building isn't really our concern, because that falls under plumbing code. But if you look at, on the plan 1.0, it'll show you the dotted line, the dashed line shows you existing sewer, and then the solid line will show you what they're proposing for a new sewer connection. I just wanted to present this to you so you guys had an idea what was going on. I believe in the past, the water sewer has given the administrator authority to authorize up to 1,000 gallons of a connection, but I just wanted to present this to you so I guess you guys would know what's happening with it. I don't think it needs to be a formal vote unless you want to make it, but they're planning on digging up the current sewer line to the manhole and then running a new sewer line out from the building to the existing manhole and then out to the sewer line. One thing to talk about with the design, with the architect and the site worker is that this manhole does not seem to be in best of condition, so If
Yeah.
there's only one sewer line coming out of the building, maybe make a direct connection and just do a clean out from the new pipe to the existing pipe to the sewer line in the street, instead of having a compromised manhole there just to keep it, or they can replace it, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think we can make that determination once they pull a connection permit, they get a contractor with a drain layers license to come in, do some work inside that manhole, and while we're doing the inspection, see what type of shape it's in, and make that decision at that time.
Basically, what we're planning to do in the building is for 2 sewer lines exiting the building now, one was for the pizza shop and one for the auto parts store. And given the age, we just have no idea what condition they're in, so we're going to abandon those and cap them and run new lines for our new sanitary sewer. Which
Personally,
is
I think,
shown on that plan.
yeah, I think that's good news. These lines are well over 50 years old.
Yeah.
And so when you run new lines, you're gonna run those, it almost seems like a double pipe that comes out.
Correct. One is for their roof drains, correct? That's gonna be going out to a catch basin.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
okay, I
going
see
to a
what it turns
leaching
out.
basin and then to a catch basin, yes.
Okay,
There are no roof drains now.
okay, so then,
But you'll see the one line that's coming up. And this past summer, I believe, the Helgerson was there, and they cambered all of these sewer lines all the
Yeah.
way out to the street. So
Correct.
from the manhole out to the street, that pipe seems to be in good
It looked,
condition.
yeah, I was there, it looked in good shape.
What's the material?
I think it's PVC.
Well, one of the submittals had AC on some of the existing stuff, that's why.
Yes, the existing from the parts store out was AC.
Or maybe-
The rest of it was plastic. There was one portion that is AC, that they're doing away. It was on the building side of the manhole, not the manhole to the street.
Abandonment in place is not a means of abatement. Keep that
Okay.
in mind.
I'm sorry?
Abandonment in place of AC pipe is not an accepted means of abatement. Okay?
Okay.
Mr. Dixon, when the abandonment of this original drain, at least, what's your plan on how to abandon that?
I haven't specifically talked with a site contractor. I mean, the thought would be to disconnect it at the manhole and cap it. Unless
Cap it
you
at the
have other-
manhole?
Hmm?
Cap it at the manhole?
Yes.
Now, this manhole that's kind of in the center of the paper, then runs down to another manhole?
Yes,
Okay. Is the capping will take place at this manhole or at this
I
manhole?
would think it both.
At both? Okay. All right. Because, again, our department is, we're constantly fighting the battle of infiltration. So, that would be very important. Peter, can we follow up on that?
Yes,
On the process of
Yeah,
abandonment,
definitely.
and if that's done properly. Or at least done to,
and that's why I mentioned maybe just doing it, instead of having that manhole there, just connect them with a clean out at that
Yeah,
area,
better,
so you don't
yeah.
have to worry about that manhole
Okay.
and what they have going on, because I believe there's a 2 sewer lines going in there, and someone said there might be a third one under one of the other ones that's currently going in there, so,
What, on that far corner one?
yes. So, just because it's been there historically for so long and nobody really knows what's going where, it might, once they start digging and we start doing inspections, at that time, we might make the call, again, as we're looking at, to say, get rid of it or replace it, so it's a clean with just the 2 new pipes that are needed. The one inlet and the one outlet. So. But again, I think we're gonna be up there enough during this process to doing the inspections and seeing what's there once the ground's dug up, that we can work with them on that at that time.
okay, yes. So as I see, the plan is you've got a sink in the break room?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else for this?
No, I don't think so. Like I said, I don't think I need a vote for that. I'll just, as long as you guys are okay with it, I'll sign the building permit. And then whatever work they do out here, we'll work on that when they pull the connection permit and they get going, as we inspect it and see what they uncover.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, Mr. Dixon, thank you for coming in front of us, giving us this information. We all set, Mr. Dixon, gentlemen? Yeah. Okay, thanks again.
Okay, thank you for your time, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Do you want that permit, or do you want Ed to pick it up?
I could take it and get it to him.
Okay, moving along. New business. Seeing none, hearing none. Moving on to old business, annual report needs approval. Do we have a copy in here, Pete?
Yes, there was.
How far back?
Take that one. Second page of that.
Okay, thank you.
Paul, it's probably the last thing in that package.
Okay. Starts out with the memorandum for the, okay, I'm attaching a copy of the 2017 annual report.
Paul. I'm sorry.
Well, I thought he just had it.
Here we go, right here.
Right. So it's a paper copy. This needs to be approved tonight, so it can be sent to Mary Devlin tomorrow to be printed. If you have comments or changes that you would like, please approve the report pending the changes, and Sue will make them before she sends it to Mary tomorrow. So this, the annual report's going to press tomorrow?
Soon.
The annual report, the one that's 118 pages long?
I'm sorry?
No, yeah,
Well, I believe, yeah, Mary wants them so she can compile all of them and get it in
Okay.
order to send it to print.
okay. Had you made some changes to this, Peter, from your original?
I have not.
Okay. Any additions or subtractions, gentlemen?
We premature to mention that we're gonna be connecting with Aquarian Water?
Yes. I did this before. Yes, we are.
So should that still be left in here or taken out?
The exact wording is it will be, it wasn't
Well,
possibly?
It said the third extension is being funded by Mass Works grant funded by the state that will extend the currently dry water line near the Oxford Town Line to connect with the Aquarian Water
Okay.
Company's active line.
We can qualify that as possibly.
And that's
Yeah.
talking about extending the line. It doesn't say we're gonna have water in it at this
Right.
time, so I guess maybe that's okay to leave it. But it's kinda giving false hopes
Yeah.
that it's a sure thing.
Right.
And I don't, from what I understand of the other memos I've got from, it's not necessarily a
No.
sure thing yet.
I think if it's okay with the commission, we'll change that, so we put some type of possibly, or some type of clause in there that says it's not a definite.
Okay, good point, Paul. Okay. Have a motion to approve this with,
think it needs a motion.
with changes?
Peter can change, he knows the concern and can change it at his discretion.
Need a motion on that?
I don't need one, it's up to you
Okay.
guys if you wanna make one.
Okay.
It's on camera that you didn't say anything, so.
Okay. Superintendent report.
Again, this meeting was supposed to be when I was away, so I don't have a superintendent's report prepared. Hopefully for your next meeting, Beta will be here to give you the water master plan completed. They will also be here to discuss an amendment to do the water well exploration down in the Buffinville area. Hopefully I will have an agreement for you to consider approving with the landowner in the Buffinville area, that we can talk about next week in executive session. You also have Veolia coming in front of you next week for their monthly operating report and some other things to talk about that are going on at the plant. And other than that, we're just kind of keeping things moving forward, so. I do have a proposal from Ed Lafort. He was there to look at doing new lighting on the outside of the buildings. The current older quartz floodlights that are there are no longer operational, so at nighttime it's somewhat of a safety issue around the outside of the building. So while he was there, I asked him to go through and look at the lights we have in the offices and those 2x2 fluorescent lights and see what he thought about doing some upgrades there. He said National Grid is they have some rebates going on. So the 2x2 prices for the inside of the building are only $20 versus $64. And the LED wall packs for outside are only $75 versus $350 a piece. So the cost for the fixtures, it's 20 of the 2x2s and then 12 of the outside fixtures. The cost with the rebate's $1,300. The cost without the rebate at full price is $5,400. The total cost with his labor to install everything is $4,500. I know you guys have been spending quite a bit of money lately, but again, because it is a safety issue for the guys who have to come in all hours of the night for the outside lights to be repaired, and also with the LEDs and cost savings for the inside lights, because of the rebates that are going on. If you guys have an appetite to consider this, I will put it on the next agenda for you to formally talk about it.
One of the rebates expire?
That I'm not sure of. I will have that information for the next meeting if there's interest. Okay.
What's not working about the outside lights? I mean, is it just bulbs or it's been,
I believe the photo sensors, Ed just walked around and I'm not sure exactly he's not sure where they're fed, where the power's fed to them, because I believe some of those were installed before he started working at the plant. So it's hard to trace the wires and figure out where the power's coming from for specific lights. So, and again, between how they're operational, whether they're on a timer, I believe most of them are on photo cells. So, because the LEDs are efficient, he'd recommend that we do a photo cell. So at nighttime, for the front part of the building and the Headworks building, those lights come on at dark time and stay on. the back side of the building, we'll put on a switch, so if they have to go up near the clarifiers, they can turn the back side of the main building on when they're working up in that area at night. But at least the front area of the building will be lit up, so when they show up at night, that will go. If you'd rather break it up, I can get a cost for doing the outside only versus the inside as well, but, again, the lights that are in the inside of the building are the old tube-type U-shaped
I didn't know if
fluorescents.
you could break it across the fiscal year, that's all.
I'm s-
Break the cost, total cost.
Oh,
over the cross,
over 2
the-
years?
No, fiscal years.
Fiscal, yes.
Yeah.
If you want to do something like that, we can order the fixtures now and have Ed do it after
Right.
the first of the year. So we make sure we get the fixtures with the rebate, and then Ed can do them after. I can give you an update of where your current line items are, and you can make that decision then, if you want. So I'll
I
have
think
that.
at a
information.
minimum, the exterior lights need to be changed. Just the fact that they're quartz. All they do is spin the meter.
Yep.
So-
Well, they're not
and al-
working, so.
And also, is again, for safety,
Yep.
that's not number one. And then, again, if we boil it down even more, then do the office lights first. Because between the two offices and the hallway is what would you say, 20 fixtures?
Yes. He priced us for 22 by 2 fixtures.
And that's within those three rooms, the hallway and the two rooms?
The hallway, our office, and the lab, yes, and the bathroom.
In the bathroom.
So, okay, I'll have everything ready for you for your next meeting then to make that decision. Great.
Okay, does anyone want to go forward with having to do the exterior lights immediately?
I'll make the motion to go forward with exterior lights. I mean, it's a great deal as far
Right,
as,
and also, it's an issue, because
it's a safety issue,
Right.
first and foremost.
I would just like to order all of the fixtures now and take advantage of the discount, and then install them when we, as you say, after the first of the year, do you mean July 1st?
Yes.
After
Yeah.
July, not.
Yeah, the
next
fiscal.
year, okay, yeah. So,
You can get the outside done now, and after the fiscal, start doing the stuff
Yeah.
inside.
All right, so you make a motion, let's order all the fixtures and install the
This
outside
wasn't,
ones?
this wasn't on the agenda, so I don't know if you want to make a formal motion on it.
We got a safety issue here, though, Peter.
Again, to order the lights is only $1,300. I believe I have the authority, or Steve, I believe you set Steve's authority at $2,500 to order stuff, so.
And that includes all the stuff interior wise too, right? Or that's just exterior?
No, 1,300 was, with the rebate, was for both inside and outside. So that falls under the 2,500, so rather than make a motion on something that's not on the agenda, I will order that stuff, and then we can finalize everything else in our next meeting. Okay?
And get better quotes for breaking them apart.
Yeah, I'll have him identify inside versus outside. Great. That's all I have.
Okay, so, any other business that was unknown at the time of posting, needs to come forward? All right, hearing none, next meeting is March 26, 2018, here at 6:30 PM. Okay, I'll
Next week.
entertain, which is next Monday, entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
With second,
Second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.